Happy Friday, Miami. This is Buy, Sell, Hold Miami, a real estate podcast. I'm Peter Zalewski, condo consultant, expert witness, founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club, joined here by my partner, my co-host, the moderator, Daniel Hernandez from Compass Real Estate in Coconut Grove, where he does single-family houses as well as condos. Daniel, how'd you like that disappearing act?
I thought that was interesting. Speaking of disappearing, we disappeared last week. Now we're back. I got people calling me on Tuesday saying, "Hey, where was the show, guys? 150th anniversary of our great nation. Give us a day off after 58 weeks." Can you believe it? This is week 59, Peter.
Wow, I am shocked. Well, I guess week 60 because we missed last week, right? So, but 59th episode of week 60.
I mean, even Colbert took a week off once, I think. I don't know, or is he even on the air anymore? Too soon.
Don't mention Colbert. We don't want the guy from the FCC nosing around.
Well, anyway, folks, if you're just joining us for the first time today, this is season 2. If you want season 1, you got to go back. You got to go back in the archives. Go on YouTube, go on Substack. It's all there. This is Buy, Sell, Hold Miami. And so on the bottom left of your screen, you're going to see what we call the rundown. And Peter and I throw a few stories back and forth across the week. And this week, we have a great show for you. At the end of each topic, we're either going to buy because we agree, we sell because we disagree, or we hold because we don't know. We don't have enough information. We need to have more transparency. So if you have anything that you do want us to talk about, you got our contacts. You let us know. But I want to jump right into it with you, Peter. First topic is the worst time for the good time. So, Peter, you ever been to the Good Time Hotel?
I have not. I've read about it, but I've never actually gone in there.
So the Good Time Hotel is over on, or was over on Miami Beach, right there on Washington. And I'm going to pull it up for the gang so everybody can see. So there it is. It's a good spot, a few blocks off from Loomis Park. And it caught a lot of fanfare when it opened, I think back in 2021, 2022. I think it was the summer of 2021 because our own Mr. David Grutman and Pharrell Williams, the musician, singer, they were like the celebrity backers for this hotel. And this was at a time when, as Peter likes to put it, DeSantis said you could come down here and, as you would say,
you didn't have to wear a mask. You could work from home, and Miami Beach permitted you to twerk on police cars on Ocean Drive.
Wow. Well, then the country opened back up. The Good Time Hotel wasn't the only place for a good time, and they didn't do so great. So what's happened in the most recent chapter of this is the CIM Group, the lender behind this. They foreclosed on a $200-ish million loan, and they took it to auction. CIM, the only bidder on this, got it for a cool $100. So a little bit more than the Trump Library Foundation got that library site for, but $100 still nonetheless. I think the math, what is that, about $1 in stamp tax and doc stamps?
Absolutely, but they still got the debt they had never got paid.
No, they didn't. And I want to bring this up today because this is a theme that I'm seeing on Miami Beach. I pulled some of the other troubled hotels. You got, who have we got here? We got the W. It's going to be a Waldorf now. They're closing that next month. That's Waldorf is taking it over. The 660 Resort, 82 Waterfront Condo Hotel on 6060 Indian Creek Drive. The Z Ocean Hotel. The Gabriel South Beach. The Raleigh, which is being redeveloped. Michael Schvo, the broker out of New York turned developer, couldn't make it happen. And so Nala Capital took that off his hands. The Fairwind Hotel at 1000 Collins and the DeVille, which is very contentious right now. The DeVille is just a plot of sand up there on 67th and Collins. We've talked about that in a past show, but these are all hotels that have gone defunct. And so this Good Times Hotel is just the latest in this chapter of, well, troubling times on Miami Beach. You remember when the spring break madness happened and then the pendulum kind of swung the other way, Peter, and Miami Beach said, no, we don't want to have you here. So they didn't come. And this is what happens. So there's going to be a happy medium here on Miami Beach, no?
Might be a happy medium, but it's not good times, especially if you want to
Not
participate in
good
something.
time.
Oh,
No,
wow.
no.
Talk about a change of fortunes. I mean, 2021, we were rocking and rolling. We were go-go. This was the place to be. And then all of a sudden the world opened up and people found out that there were alternatives and we're not as hot as we once were, to the point where the population's coming down. Daniel, I thought 1,000 people are moving to Florida. I thought the trees grow to the moon. How
To the
could
moon.
we say it ain't so?
Something else I wanted to point out when I was reading about the hotels that are closing. Coastal Florida hotels routinely pay up to 100% higher premiums than comparable inland properties. So there's not a lot of room for error here. If you don't hit your RevPAR, which is revenue per available room, if you don't hit those projections, you got the margins of a grocery store in some of these properties.
And they're not selling gas. At least they're gasoline with the fuel costs because of the Iranian war. Maybe they could be adding it. They don't even have that. And back in the day, Daniel, they used to have a little section. So I heard they'd have these magazines up and they would cover it and they'd make a heck of a premium on that. They can't even do that anymore because the internet stole it from them. How are you making your cash in the hotels? And nobody in Miami Beach is drinking anymore. This is what do they call it? A blue zone where you live to be 400. And as a result, you don't drink, you don't eat. It's all you do is exercise. Not a good time to be a hotelier.
What's that? I just saw this in the newspaper. What's that? The Mac Deuce. What's that old dive down there by Joe's?
Oh, you're talking about Ted's Hideaway. Dude,
Ted's.
Deuce is going to be a little bit farther north. Ted's Hideaway. Yeah, about second or so.
The Deuce is celebrating its a big anniversary. They're doing this big block party for their, I don't know, like 100-year anniversary or something like that.
Yeah, it's a heck of a place. Still an all-cash establishment. Do not bring a debit card. Forget Apple Pay.
They can still get away with that?
They still get away with it. You know who gave it up a few years back? Is Casola's Pizza. They used to be all cash.
Duffy's. You remember Duffy's?
Duffy's was all cash. Yeah. I guess the IRS was knocking on some people's doors, but somehow Old Man Deuce or Old Man Mac, who's long past. And by the way, Anthony Bourdain, the restaurateur, the chef, the celebrity.
He's a travel guy.
Yeah. 10 years ago, he passed, but one of his local haunts when he came to Miami was always a Deuce. You go in there, tie one on, and be smoking cigarettes. You can still smoke cigarettes in the Deuce, I will tell you. I've heard.
Supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, South Beach and Miami Beach and basically South Florida, we got to rediscover who we are. We got this influx of people who came in here. They all had sort of different, objectives. Things sort of changed. You know, if you remember, too, going back to 2021, we had the Club 11 thing was really going off. It was hot. You had Club Space. You had all these different things. Now it seems like people are sort of shifting their focus, shifting their energy, shifting their, regiment. And Miami Beach going, blue zone, like parts of Greece,
the blue zone. I want to live forever. And you can't live forever if you're drinking yourself into a hole, right? Or maybe you can. I don't know.
Or so they say. I got some uncles. They live very long, and they were sucking down Pall Malls, and they were drinking, what is it, 7 and 7s. And they lived to be quite long, and they weren't.
So maybe you can you can smoke and drink. You just can't be eating Cheetos every day.
That's probably it.
Ultra processed foods.
All the stuff that RFK Jr. as the health secretary was able to eliminate. So maybe that was a cause.
So I don't understand how you can be selling units at the Raleigh and at the Ritz on South Beach that they're launching for, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a square foot, and a hotel like this isn't doing well. So it was just an operational quandary.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's kind of like a restaurant. What do they say with a restaurant? If you can basically make it hot in the first 6 months and unload it or bring in some other equity to sort of take your money off the table, you're probably going to do well. But the longer you stick around, the less likelihood is that you're going to be able to maintain it. Simply because this is a fickle city. Vanity is a big thing. Shiny objects are the big thing. And if the Good Times Hotel is no longer the most popular thing, then all of a sudden it goes by the wayside. Take South Beach to begin with. South Beach was the place to be. Then all of a sudden, downtown Miami, greater downtown Miami popped up. Wynwood popped up, and it all kind of shifted. The question is, where does it go now? Wynwood is sort of like what Yogi Berra the Yogi Berra quote is, nobody goes there anymore because it's too damn popular. So you got to kind of wonder where the next place is. Is it Little River? Is it Fort Lauderdale? Is it Little Havana? It could be anywhere. And basically, you got to hit it when it's hot, and you got to try to unload before the music stops and let somebody else think that they are smarter than you, leave some equity on the table, pull the ripcord, and get the heck out is what I would say. And obviously, these two gentlemen, they couldn't read the tea leaves.
Well, from what I was able to read, that Pharrell and Grumman, they sort of left operations back in 2024. I guess they saw the writing on the wall. They got out of Dodge, and then the operators were kind of shit out of luck because without these two guys, they're just another vanilla hotel on the beach.
However, the key to success in South Beach, and it's been proven over and over and over, and I'll give you the perfect example. The Flamingo, the old Flamingo, 2 crappy condo buildings or rental buildings called the Morton Towers. They go ahead, they rename it, they put a tower in the middle right there off of, what
West
road
Ave.
is that going to be? It's not West Ave.
Yeah, it's West Ave.
One, is it actually West, or is it one?
Yeah, they're on West. They're on West.
All right, they're on West. So yeah, what they did is they had these 2 crappy old buildings. They put a rental up in the middle. They convert the south building, and when you get off the elevator and it's all musty, they got like a centralized chiller, and it's moldy. It smells like you're going to see your grandmother who's maybe in some kind of healthcare facility. But nobody wanted to be there. But you know what they figured out? The Sunday pool party. They gave discounts to strippers. Entertainers.
Content creators,
DJs, bartenders were all started living there. All of a sudden, everybody else wanted to be there. So they all came. The Sunday pool party, you would party, you go to Club Space. When you came rolling out, the sun was up. All you wanted to go to the pool party, maybe did something to give yourself a little bit of energy, and you rode out Sunday. And as a result, the quality there versus the price was just completely out of whack. So the key is, if you can create a shiny object, you are going to be able to bank. And obviously, the boys at the Good Times, they didn't get it figured out. Maybe they got too old. Maybe they're out of touch. Maybe they took their eye off the ball. But at the end of the day, these are short-term hits. You got to make it while you can, pull the ripcord and get the heck out and dump it on somebody else.
The worst time for the good time. Buy, sell, hold, Pete.
I would be worst time for the good time. I guess I would be a buy. But you know who's going to make the money is the person buying it downstream. If they can get a nice 40-50% discount, they'll probably be okay.
I mean, why not just convert it to multifamily? Is there, I mean, I don't know enough about the South Beach multifamily market, but they got these little, and they're small. I don't know if they're big enough for like workforce housing units, but there's got to be some sort of way to retrofit this thing to make some sort of cap rate on it.
But I guess it has to do with are you bullish or bearish on South Beach? Again, if you're bullish on South Beach, yes, it would make a heck of a lot of sense to go ahead and do that. But if you're sort of in between and you're indecisive, do you really want to sort of take that chance? Remember, first settler gets the arrow, second settler gets the land. That's I'm not saying it's politically correct, but that is a saying. It's something to sort of keep in mind. Catch a falling knife, things like that. We just don't, we don't know where the bottom is. We don't know where people are traveling to. We don't know if they're going to travel. We don't know what affordability is. We don't know what's going on in Washington come midterm elections in November, which are probably going to be very contentious. We don't know what's going on with interest rates. President Trump wanted old man Powell, Jerome Powell, out, and he's gone. He brings in his new boy. He's been 2 months. They're supposed to cut rates. They're talking about raising rates because inflation, 4% and humming, heading north. It's got to be south of 2 in order to cut rates. So, you just can't anticipate it. But affordability. If you're charging $25 for a drink, you're not going to sell too many drinks in this town, especially when it only costs $35 for a burger with fries, with tax and tip.
Where can you get a burger these days for like $15? A good burger.
My go-to is always going to be Flanagan's, but you got to get the lunch special.
What time's that at? Like 3:30?
I think they extended it to 4.
Oh,
trying to get the early bird crowd in there too. Yep, the Boca crowd, Boca Raton crowd.
You're a buy. I'm a buy. Miami will become a chopper town, and not chopper like brum brum brum. Chopper like this guy. So like that. This is on the heels of the news that our boy Ken Billions, that's Ken Griffin for all you joining us for the first time, Ken Billions bought 3.7 acres over on Terminal Island from George Perez's Related Group a few years back for $77 million. And you're like, oh, some waterfront, right? Great, waterfront, $77 million, chump change to a man like Mr. Billions. But this lot right here is right across from Fisher Island and right on the other side from Star Island, where Kenny Boy has some property. The problem with this property over on Star Island, and I'm going to show it to you folks, is you can't put a super yacht there. I mean, God forbid, you have this property and you can't put a 300-foot yacht in your backyard because the bay floor is very shallow. And we're going to talk about that in another segment in a little bit. So
yeah, but you know whose fault that is, right? You know whose fault that is.
Tell us.
Old man Fisher, Carl Fisher, the gearhead, the car fanatic who was involved with creating the Indianapolis 500, the guy who built out most of Miami Beach, marketed the hell out of it, and built most and created most of those islands in and around there. Old man Fisher, what the hell were you thinking when you guys were dredging up the bay and steamrolling all of the
because nobody had 300-foot yachts. A big yacht was like 70 feet back then, and they didn't draft 25 feet.
Ken Billions, why don't you just go ahead and dredge it? Pull a Sylvester Stallone, build whatever the hell you want, and pay the fee. How much is the county going to hit you for?
No, well, I mean, he just bought
nobody
this for
cares about
$77 million.
You don't have to worry about the park.
Well, you should take a page out of Dave Martin's book. We'll get there in a minute. So this, for anybody who doesn't know, this was owned by Related, and this little terminal island here, it's called Terminal Island because it's the ferry terminal for, you can see a little ferry there, and that ferry, they run about every 15 minutes, and that exists exclusively to shuttle folks back and forth to Fisher Island. We've talked about a lot about Fisher Island in past shows because of these eyesores right here. Those are the fuel terminals that power Dodge Island, which is Port Miami, the cruise ships, the cargo ships, all the ships